Hello again. The series nobody asked for. uh, yeah, okay, let me just start real fast to cover it up. Um, I didn't talk about the episode 4, basically for a reason that I kind of mentioned in the last one I made, is that I'm not trying to, review or give my opinion on every episode here because this channel is not about that. I'm not here to talk like this. It's not like my thing. But again, when there is something to talk about, when I have an opinion, I wanna fucking share it. Fucking sue me, right? So the last episode, the fourth episode, I had nothing to say. I pretty much just appraise. I was just would just basically say that everybody acted well, that there is changes, where the game did something, the episode did something different, and I liked it. I liked pretty much all of it. No problems anywhere, so I didn't fucking cover it. There is no reason for me to talk about this when I have nothing constructive to say, I would say. Um, However, the fifth episode just literally made me open Audacity and start talking, which to be honest, since this show started, I was waiting for that moment when that's gonna happen, and it didn't until now. So I would say that's pretty fucking great. So okay, let's talk about the problem here. Um, this episode basically starts, or starts like 1/4 or 1/3 of the episode is about how Sam and Henry kind of got out of the situation they were in, right? And we got a little bit more background for the characters, more than in the game. So I mean that's the whole point of the show, right? Is that you get more of a coverage, lore of all of this. So that's great. Uh, we get more, more story concerning Caitlyn and all these things. Also cool. Um, Alright, let's get into it because I'm not trying to make this longer than it has to be. Um, there's the scene in the game that's pretty much one-to-one recreated in terms of like environment. I mean, um, the the part of mission, right? The part of the game where you have the sniper, right? There's like a big road, right? Houses on either side of the road, a bunch of cars, bunch of vehicles on the road, right? And at the end of that, there's tall house with sniper in it. In the game, you have to kill infected and people to get at the end of the house. In here, we don't have that; we just have the sniper. Uh, long story short, Joel gets into the house. There is a little bit of a need, change, I think, where the sniper is like an older guy and Joel is trying to make him just, give him the gun, and he's really hoping that he doesn't have to kill him, which obviously he will have to, but it's just like that's the thing about this show, though. That's what I always, for the first episode, I liked about this show is that we are making them more human, but in like not in like a way where you would say in the game they were like robots. They were not, but this is more of a like it feels better, it feels more believable, which is on topic because what fucking happens right after this scene is not believable. Um, I'm not a gunner nut. I do not own any actual firearm that shoots bullets. I play games and I don't go outside. So if I start talking about things you know much more about than I do, you know, always feel free to fucking correct every step of the way in the comments, but be aware that nobody gives a shit. I'm right on this. I don't need to consult a professional because this is something everybody thinks when they fucking see what happens. So let's get into that. In the game, what happens in the show also happens where Joel gets sniper rifle, right, and because he said Ellie, Henry, and Sam should hide and wait for him. They are doing that. So when Joel gets, on the other side, has the sniper, Now they have to run to him, right? Because hey, surprise, the people of the city are all rushing in to kill the 4 people, right? So that happens. They show up, and our 3 characters are running towards Joel, towards the sniper. Um, which is still fine. It's still fine, still good. We get this scene, right, where this, I don't remember this from the game, but it's possible it was that, I actually don't remember it. I think it was a tank instead of this car, but basically we have this big ass plow machine that is like sweeping away all the cars, right? So you have that in front, and there's a big scene. It's happening for like 5 seconds, 10 seconds. I can't show it for obvious reasons in this video, but you know, if you've seen the episode, you fucking know what I'm talking about. This plow machine is running towards Ellie, right? She's running away from it, but it's a fucking car. She's not gonna outrun it. And Joel is taking like 5 or 6 bullets to fucking hit the driver. Understandably, because doing something like this, especially if you are not like super trained sniper, which you could argue maybe Joel even is, but that doesn't make too much difference if it's a shot like this. It's fucking hard. I'm telling you, it's a fucking hard shot to do. Eventually, because it's a show, right? I mean, I'm not saying it's impossible to do. I'm just saying, you know, it was obvious he's eventually gonna hit it. So he eventually hits it. Like I said, after like a 6th shot, he actually hits what I'm assuming is a headshot by the placement of the shot in the windshield, and the plow machine just like burrows itself into a nearby house to the side, right? So you know the Ellie is fine, right, and protagonist alive. Uh, then the baddies arrive at the scene, and there's obviously dialogue, whatever, whatever. But then a thing happens, and so the plow machine gets all of a sudden it exploded before, I forgot to mention, so now there is a hole inside the road, or not the side of the road, and the whole car kinda like buries itself in the ground, like literally inside the ground. And here comes the action scene, the big ass, big action scene of the episode, which by the way, I don't know how much of it is CGI and how much of it is actual people, but it looks really cool. It looks really dope. I'm not a CGI super expert or anything, but I have really enjoyed looking at it. It looked scary. It looked genuinely fucking scary, and it's really well done in my opinion. So a bunch and a bunch and a bunch of fucking infected run out of the hole really fast. It's not like a Walking fucking Dead where everybody has 15 meters to hit a shot, right? This is like people, like imagine actual like not infected people, but like with fucking crazy people basically, uh, crawling really fast out of a hole running towards you. So this was what that was, right? They are infected with the fungus, but they are like super fast regular people, running like it's their last meal after the people. And so the non-infected people, right, they start to shoot them. Whole scene looks great. The big ass fucking zombie, I don't remember the name of it. I know it's in the game. I don't remember if it's a bloater. I'm not sure what it's called now. The big ass fucking undefeatable. I think this is the only zombie in the game. I think the only zombie in the game that you can't kill. Maybe I'm confusing it with something. I'm not sure. It doesn't fucking matter. So this thing is fucking tank. It's not gonna die ever to bullets, to anything probably. Maybe later in the show we will see it dead, but right now nobody can kill it. And the big, Caitlyn is like the big bad person in this episode, right? Uh, so she has her henchman, right? Which is, by the way, the voice actor for Tommy in the game. That's what I learned. I didn't even see it until I learned it. And so he dies in a very gruesome and a very cool way, as you fucking should do when you're fucking making a zombie show. He gets literally his head torn off, and I don't know if it's fucking spoiler, I don't give a fuck. But I'm just saying, I appreciate it. I appreciate the like, we have executed, character that could have been interesting, but I don't mind him dying as long as it's like this. It was cool to watch. Anyway, I spent 10 minutes not trying to talk about what I wanna talk about, but because I really don't wanna like get into it, but here we go. So we are in this situation, And Ellie being Ellie, Ellie is a character that just is just made for writers to make everything miserable. And it's not her fault, it's not the fault of the character, it's just like they made her that way, so we have things to do. That's just how Ellie is written. So she runs around trying to get to safety, and she encounters, obviously, because there's so many of them, she encounters a bunch of infected, bunch of zombies, right? And just keep in mind, while all of this is happening, Joel is up there, right, in the house with a sniper rifle. And we have a brief background on Joel and Tommy, because there was a point where they had to they joined Fireflies, I think. They joined something. I think it was Fireflies. So I understand from all of that that they both have like some kind of military training, some kind of weapon training. Uh, I'm saying this because I'm sure somebody will be like, well, he has training. You cannot train in your life. There is not a single training you can take in your lifetime. You can be 200 years old and there is not enough training if you trained from birth until you fucking die that can do what Joel did. And this is a thing that happens in the game, but it's not as on the nose, it's not as crazy, and it didn't bother me as much as in this fucking episode. She's running around, and this cool there's a cool shot where you understand without like the characters saying anything or even acknowledging each other. There's this cool vibe that Joel like the way it's shot is that Joel has to fucking like on the move, on the fly, figure out what Ellie is trying to achieve when she's running away from the zombies, and he like without them communicating anything, he has to clear her way, right? Because that's he's trying to make her survive to clear the path. So he's kind of have to be predicting where she's going, and based on that, clear the zombies in her way, basically, which is cool. That's great. I will say that you struggled with 6 shots hitting a fucking straight moving truck, and now you are hitting every shot. I'm already fucking pissed at this show for this because it's just so annoying to me. But you know what? We can't have. This is a scene. This is a specific scene in all of the show. This is a specific scene where you shouldn't think, which is bothering me because the whole time we were encouraged to think, but now we shouldn't, because now it's fucking demented to think about. So Joel all of a sudden just fucking hits every shot on a moving targets that are not moving, that are moving erratically, right? It's fucking zombies. You can't fucking predict their movement. But Joel fucking does, because Joel all of a sudden fucking hits anything. Uh, Not the problem I have with. Not the bad part. This is bad, but it's not bad yet. Then she gets into a car. She locks herself up, but uh, a tiny zombie, a baby zombie, or not baby, but like a really small child zombie, like 10 years old zombie. Cool on you show, by the way, showing that. I know a lot of people, PR people are probably, you cannot do that, same way you cannot do Sam's suicide, and they did it too. So good on you for standing your ground. Fuck every moron that ever says to director you can't put this in there and that in there because it will be controversial. Hang them, please. Thank you for fucking respecting yourself over morons. That's always nice. So they did a zombie, a child zombie. It crawls inside the car, and Ellie has to escape the car now. Fucking lucky the car was not locked, because she got inside like an opened window or broken window, whatever. So I just kinda assumed the car is not unlocked, but fucking luckily for her, right? Because if that car was locked, she would be fucking dead. So she just opens the door, the front door, and she gets the fuck out of there, closes the door, the child zombie is trapped, and now the fucking fun begins, because she now has to run towards Sam and Henry, stuck under a car, a vehicle, with two zombies trying to reach them. And she runs, which is what you could probably say is across the street, across the road, which you can, imagine a fucking road and how wide a road is. So you have you already have an opinion in your head, and that's enough, believe me. So she basically tries to run across the road towards them. And obviously, while she's doing that, uh, the zombies are trying to attack her. I'm so sad. I'm angry. It's not even sadness. I'm just fucking angry at this. But man, I don't know how to contain myself really. Uh, she does that, and while she's crossing the road, the zombies are after her, right? So they don't jump at her, but they are like around. And as she does this, Joel finds perfect angle like twice, 3 times, maybe more, and shoots very often because it's one wide shot, right? So you can't really have the zombie being shot off screen, but you can't have like not have Ellie in the shot or in the scene either as it happens, because then the audience doesn't understand what's happening, right? So all that happens. So what ends up happening in all these shots is like Ellie running through the shot, zombie approach her, and as the zombie approaches Ellie, Joel shoots the zombie. The problem here is that very often the zombie is basically in the same headspace, right? So I'm not here to say something like, well, the bullet would obviously go through the zombie and will probably hit Ellie here. I don't know that. I would say so. I would probably write it that way if I wanted to be realistic. But let's say the bullet doesn't. I don't know why, but let's say it doesn't. That's the magic of writing. You can say these things. What you cannot say, however, is that these shots sometimes happen in ways that if you miss a millimeter, dude, if you miss half an inch of your aim, you actually shoot Ellie here. Easily. So many times. And we are watching it, and I'm sorry, I'm not afraid Ellie gets bitten or eaten by a zombie. I'm afraid Joel fucking hits her. Which is interesting because I know that's not gonna happen because they're following the game, and in the game Joel never fucking accidentally hits Ellie. And I was still scared that's gonna happen. So I just wanna point out that we went from, doing all the game accurate things well, acting very well, all of that. We went from all of that to Joel just almost killing Ellie like 5 times in a row. And you know what? You may call it a nitpick. You can. That's fine. I don't mind people calling that. I mean, it may be even a nitpick. I'm not sure. The problem is not with what I'm doing here, right? The problem is that if you look at the scene and you think that's fine, I don't know what to tell you. This is not okay. This is just not. I only wonder how a genuine like a gun nut thinks about the scene. Maybe people who actually shoot weapons, right? They will be like, well, no, that's like you are just looking at the wrong angle. From Joel's perspective, Ellie was never in any danger. I Joel is doing so much from like I mean it's like season not season episode 4 showed already that Joel is gonna do so much to like not let her get around danger. Episode 5 did similarly with that idea, and on top of all that progression, we have Joel shooting bullets inches away from Ellie's face in order to shoot down a zombie that she might be potentially able to take down herself, because she gets to the car where where Henry and Sam are, and she downs 2 of them with a knife, which is a lore accurate thing to do. And I'm not saying that Joel should let her die, but I do think that maybe he should let her try to get the zombies herself, and when she starts to struggle with them, then help her with accuracy, which is still fucked. It's still probably very dangerous, but it's understandable now because now, like with the car, right, like with the plowing machine, now it's either he's gonna hit the shot or she's gonna die anyway, so might as well risk it. That that's where that makes sense. But him shooting random zombies around her neck, just to protect her from potential harm, while directly endangering her. I don't know. We fell off. This is just fucking insane. This is just it's ridiculous. So the episode ends the way the game lore ends. Basically, it's a different. There's a difference that I wanna point out just because I'm already making a fucking video. I will say it. Um, there's a scene where Sam actually, not Sam, yeah, it's Sam. Fuck, I confuse the two names every time. Sam shows Ellie the wound he has on his leg, which is a different thing because he doesn't do that in the game. So he shows her, and she, in character, I would say it's pretty much in character for her. Uh, she doesn't tell anybody about it. I know it sounds fucking retarded, but she, like, I believe she wouldn't. Like, that's a thing that she would like, she likes him, right? They're like, similar age, and, maybe she, like, sees him, like, as a big, little brother, right? Like, the dynamic is definitely there. Yeah, I don't have a problem with her not telling anybody. The thing what she does is kind of endearing, I would say, and it's again something that I imagine she just doesn't understand how these things work. So she tries something, and I can see how that makes sense for a child to do, and I don't have a problem with that. So he shows her the wound, and she's like, well, my blood can heal, like, I don't get infected, so let me cut myself and I will put the blood, in the wound, which is a very childish point of view, but again, that's on point. That's the character would probably think something like that. I can see that. Um, Never mind the infection of the the blood and everything, but at this point we probably don't worry about infection of that kind. So again, all of that, all in all, is the difference from the game, and I don't mind this difference. It's an interesting one. Um, I do think that this may have implications for her character, that maybe in the future she will blame herself a lot harder uh, for, you know, especially for Henry, because if she said something to them when, Sam told her, then maybe, Henry wouldn't have to kill himself. Maybe he would be alive. So that's an angle we may or may not, cover in the next episode. I don't know, right? But I'm just saying that's it's a different perspective. Now Ellie arguably is more at fault for what happened to both of them, and I feel like that's the point. Yeah. Anyway, I really fucking wish this video would be a lot shorter than 20 minutes, and we are fucking knocking on 20 minutes again, or not knocking, we are there already. So yeah, I know nobody fucking cares about this. I just needed to fucking do this because I just didn't expect it. It caught me so off guard with the sniping. It was just like such a cheap action, cheap action shots just for the sake of the action shots, and it made so much less sense than literally every fucking else in this entire show. Like, if you told Joel to do it, like if there was somebody standing next to Joel while he's holding the rifle, and they would say it, they would say out loud what he's about to do, he would be like, are you fucking kidding me? That's insane. And he does it, and it's like, I don't know. That just got me so, like, not uninterested, not at all that. It's more like I was this whole time like just floating, right, with the idea that we are finally getting game adaptation that doesn't suck, and it's Last of Us. Like, I love that story, I love that game, and the show was so cool, so good to watch, no problems in sight practically. And here we are, a problem. So I guess in a way it's kind of relief that I know now there is a flaw in there somewhere. So yeah, I don't know. I have nothing else to say really, so I don't think that nobody cares anyway, but there it is. There is my one opinion that kind of redefined how I look at it now. A little bit. I'm not saying the show is now shit or terrible or anything like that. The show is still great. Majority of everything in this episode actually was pretty fucking cool, and I loved it. This was just one of those things that are like pulling me out seriously out of the immersion, I guess, out of just pure curiosity what happens next, because now I know that whenever we are in danger, maybe Joel can just pull out a sniper rifle and hit impossible shots that are dumb to take. Okay. Alright, I'm done. Yeah, see you later.